Imagine this for a moment. You're sitting there staring at your phone, waiting for a text that never seems to come, scrolling back to old conversations just to feel the spark again, replaying in your mind the moments when things felt alive, when she was leaning into you, when she laughed at your jokes, when her eyes told you she was exactly where she wanted to be. Now it feels like she's 1,000 miles away. Maybe she left suddenly. Maybe she drifted slowly. Either way, you're wondering, will she ever come back? And let me tell you this, she will, 100%. But not the way you're thinking, not by chasing, not by pleading, not by trying to convince her with words that you're worth her attention. She comes back when you stop running after her and start running toward yourself. When you stop chasing, you stop sending the message that she is above you. That is the shift that changes the entire equation. Because here's the hard truth. People sense desperation. They smell it before you even open your mouth. They notice when every word you send is wrapped in need, when every action is designed to pull them closer, when every silence is really a test waiting to be broken. And nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. You have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to live as though your world doesn't collapse in her absence. That willingness is not coldness, it's power. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who doesn't beg to be chosen, but instead stands tall enough to choose themselves first. Look back at the times you were the most magnetic in your life. Maybe you didn't even realize it then, but it was when you were focused on your mission, when you were laughing with friends, when you were working on something that mattered to you, when you were so immersed in your own growth that you didn't even have time to wonder if she noticed. That's the energy that pulls people in. Not please come back to me, but I'm already moving forward. You can either walk with me or watch me from a distance. And the irony is that's the exact moment she starts wondering if she lost someone who was truly rare. You see, when she walked away, she thought she was walking away from the version of you that depended on her, that revolved around her, that waited for her texts. But when she sees that version of you disappear and another one rise in its place, she can't ignore it. She starts asking questions in her own mind. Who is he becoming? Why does he look so calm? Why does he seem more alive without me than he did with me? That curiosity eats at her. And curiosity is the first seed of attraction. It starts small. It starts as a thought late at night when she sees a picture of you smiling. It starts when she hears about you from someone else. It starts when she realizes you didn't fall apart like she expected. That thought grows, it builds. And before she knows it, she's circling back to see for herself. But here's the part you need to hear. You can't fake this. You can't pretend to move on while secretly waiting for her to notice. That energy still gives you away. True change happens when you genuinely shift your focus. When you wake up in the morning not asking, will she text me today, but asking, what can I build today? What can I learn today? How can I grow today? When your life stops being centered on her absence and starts being centered on your presence, that's when you unlock the magnetism that brings her back. Think of it like this. Imagine two men. One spends his days refreshing her profile, waiting for her online status, wondering if she's thinking of him, trying to decode every silence. The other man spends his days building his body, his mind, his career, his friendships. He's not running from pain, he's transforming it into fuel. Which man do you think she will find harder to ignore? Which man creates a pull so strong that she has no choice but to come closer? It's obvious. Energy doesn't lie. And when she does come back, it won't be because of words. It won't be because of begging. It will be because she can't reconcile the man she left with the man you've become. And she'll want to see for herself if there's still a place for her in your world. That's the irony. You get her back not by needing her, but by not needing her. You get her back by making your life so full, so good that she realizes stepping away from you was stepping away from a man who was only going to rise higher. But let me take you deeper into this, because some of you might be thinking, if I focus on myself, what if she never comes back? That's the wrong question. The right question is, what if I stay stuck and she still never comes back? Because the truth is, her return isn't guaranteed by your effort. What is guaranteed is your own transformation if you choose it. And once you've transformed, once you've built, once you've risen, it doesn't even matter if she comes back or not. Because either way you win. Either way you've elevated. Either way, you've proven to yourself that you don't need someone else's presence to justify your worth. And when that confidence radiates from you, people, whether it's her or someone even better, can't help but be drawn into it. Pain has two paths. One is desperation. The other is growth. If you sit in the pain, hoping she'll relieve it, you hand your power away. If you take that pain and pour it into becoming better, you reclaim everything. And growth has a way of rewriting the story. Growth makes people rethink their choices. Growth makes them look back and wonder if they underestimated you. Growth makes her come back, not because you asked her to, but because she realizes she left a man who refuses to stay down. Now imagine this. Months go by. You've been focused on yourself. You've built consistency in your habits. You've gained strength in your body. You've deepened your mind. You've pursued passions you used to neglect. You've connected with people who lift you up. And then one day, out of nowhere, there's her name lighting up your phone again. What changed? Not her. You changed. You became the version of yourself she didn't see when she walked away. And now the gravity of who you are pulls her back into orbit. That's how it works. Not force, not manipulation, but gravity. But here's the twist. By the time she comes back, you might not even want her anymore. And that's not bitterness, it's clarity. Because when you rise, you begin to see things differently. You realize the version of you who begged for her was a smaller version, a weaker version, a man who didn't know his worth yet. But the man you become, he knows his value, he knows his direction, he knows he's not waiting for someone to complete him, he's already complete. And from that place, he doesn't ask, will she return? He asks, does she deserve a place in this new life I've built? And that's the beautiful paradox. When you no longer need her back, that's when she comes. When you no longer ask, that's when she answers. When you no longer wait, that's when she shows up. And the reason it works, because people are drawn to power, not the loud, arrogant kind, but the quiet, undeniable kind. The kind of power that says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, I know I'm not afraid of loss. That's the kind of energy nobody forgets. That's the kind of energy she will feel even in your silence. You have to understand that love is not about clinging, it's about choosing. And when you hold on too tightly, you suffocate what was meant to breathe. When you let go, when you trust, when you live fully, you give space for love to return stronger than before. You give her the chance to choose you again, not because she has to, but because she wants to. And that choice is far more powerful than any forced attention you could beg for. So if you're sitting there wondering what to do next, here it is. Stop overthinking. Stop waiting, stop analyzing every word, every silence, every signal. Instead, start moving, start becoming, start living in a way that makes her wonder how she ever thought she could leave. Build yourself until your presence is undeniable. Grow until your energy is irresistible. Rise until she has no choice but to look back and realize the man she walked away from is not the man standing in front of her now. And when she sees that, when she feels that, when she recognizes it deep down, she will come back. Not maybe, not sometimes, 100%. The mind plays tricks on you when you're alone. It whispers that she's happier without you, that she's laughing with someone else, that she's not thinking of you at all. But the truth is far more complex than the story your pain tells you. People don't just cut off emotions like a switch. They remember. They compare. They revisit memories when the night is quiet and no one is around. And what you don't realize in those moments when you feel forgotten is that she still feels the echo of your presence. The difference is whether that echo sounds like a desperate plea or a strong heartbeat. You decide which one she hears by the way you carry yourself in her absence. If she left and you crumble, that's one story. She'll think she made the right choice, that you needed her more than she needed you. But if she left and you rise, that shakes her entire reality, because she expected you to fall apart. She expected to be the center of your stability. And when you prove her wrong, when you show her that your strength wasn't dependent on her attention, that's when the attraction rewires itself in her mind. She starts to doubt her decision. She starts to rethink. She starts to feel the pull. Imagine her scrolling through her phone late at night. She sees your name pop up in someone else's story. You're not sulking. You're not chasing. You're living. You're out with people. You're smiling. You're building something. That image is louder than any text you could send. That image says, I am not waiting. I am moving forward. And here's the thing, people always want to be around what moves forward. Nobody is drawn to stagnation. Energy flows where life is. And when your life radiates movement, she feels compelled to move toward you. This is where most men fail. They think silence means waiting in the dark for the knock on the door. They think working on themselves means pretending until she notices. But real silence isn't passive. Real silence is active. It's the silence of a man so focused on his path that he doesn't need to explain himself. It's the silence of someone who doesn't post to prove, but posts because he's genuinely living. That authenticity is what draws her curiosity. You can't fake it for long. The energy gives you away. If your life is still orbiting around her, she'll feel it. But if your life has become its own planet, its own gravity, she'll feel that too. And that's the one she can't resist. And here's what's fascinating. She doesn't even come back for you at first. She comes back for the feeling she had when she was around you. Attraction is memory plus mystery. Memory of how it felt when she was near you. Mystery of who you've become since she left. That combination is powerful. And the moment you stop trying to convince her, You give space for both memory and mystery to work in your favor. She starts to remember, but she doesn't quite know where you stand now. That unknown drives her curiosity, and curiosity drives action. Picture this. She texts you out of the blue, maybe something casual, maybe something meaningless on the surface. Hey, have you been? To you, it's a small message. To her, it's a test. She wants to see if the man who responds is still the one she left or someone entirely different. That's your moment if the growth wasn't a mask. That's your moment to show her you're not desperate, not bitter, not waiting with open arms, but steady, calm, grounded. She's not reaching out to give you validation. She's reaching out to find out if the man she knew has turned into someone she might regret losing. And if you've done the work, if you've built yourself, that regret hits her hard. But understand this too, she won't always come back quickly. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes even longer. That's why your growth has to be real. If you're just pretending for her to notice, you'll get tired. You'll slip back into the same patterns. But if your growth is real, if your life is genuinely richer, then time is your ally. Because every day that passes without her reaching out is another day she gets to feel the absence of the man who refuses to sit still. And absence is powerful. People only miss what they realize they can't easily replace. This is why I tell you, stop chasing, stop checking, stop trying to control the timeline. You don't control when she feels the pull. You only control whether you become magnetic enough for her to feel it. And the beauty is, while you're building, you stop needing her timeline altogether. Because the stronger you become, the less you even care if she circles back. And that's when she always does. Because the energy of someone who doesn't care is intoxicating. It's not arrogance, it's freedom. And freedom is irresistible. Think about it. Why are people drawn to leaders? Why do people admire those who stand tall even when the world is against them? It's because they radiate freedom. They're not desperate for approval. They're not bending over backward for validation. They stand firm in who they are. That same principle applies here. When you radiate the freedom of not needing her, you attract her more powerfully than any words could. She can't help but notice. She can't help but wonder. She can't help but feel the shift. And when she feels it, don't be surprised if she tests you. She might act casual, as if she doesn't care, just to see if you'll jump at the chance. She might even pull back again after reaching out. That's normal. That's her trying to understand if your new strength is real or just an act. And your job isn't to convince her with speeches. It's to remain consistent. To show her that your life isn't a performance, it's a reality. That your growth wasn't a phase, it's a new identity. Consistency is what breaks her resistance. Because she can ignore a single strong moment. But she can't ignore a steady transformation. There's a reason people always return to strength. Because strength offers what weakness never can, security. And deep down, every woman craves the security of knowing the man she's with won't collapse under pressure. That's what your growth shows her. Not that you can live without her to spite her, but that you can live fully whether she chooses you or not. That's the strength she can't walk away from forever. That's the strength that rewires her attraction. But let's go even deeper. Sometimes she doesn't just come back. Sometimes she comes back in ways you didn't expect. She might not say, I miss you. She might start liking your posts again. She might find reasons to bring up old memories. She might mention things she used to criticize about you and now say, whoa, you've changed. Pay attention to those signals, not because you need them, but because they show you the shift is working. They show you the gravity is pulling her closer again. And when you see it, remember, it wasn't the chasing that did it. It was the silence. It was the growth. It was the strength. And here's the ultimate irony, the moment you stop asking, will she come back? Is the moment she starts asking, can I come back? That's the reversal. That's the switch. That's the transformation you create when you stop centering her and start centering yourself. And the man who lives in that posture doesn't just get her back. He gets himself back. And that's the real victory. Because what you truly want isn't her return. What you truly want is the confidence you thought she took when she left. What you truly want is the power to know you're enough, no matter who stays or goes. And once you have that, once you live from that place, you stop fearing loss altogether. And a man who doesn't fear loss is a man every woman wants to be near. Because he's no longer grasping, he's choosing, he's no longer begging, he's inviting. And that energy is magnetic beyond words. So remember this, she will come back. Not because you forced it, but because you became the man who doesn't need it. Not because you begged, but because you grew. Not because you waited, but because you moved forward, and that shift, that transformation, that growth, it changes everything.